Hello, I'm Kadiravana, and so the topic of my term paper is interior points method. This is a part of the term paper for the optimization methods course taught by C.V. Jawar sir in spring 2021. So the interpoints method is one of the methods to solve the convex optimization problem, uh, linear and non-linear problems. So the general formulation for convex optimization is we are trying to minimize f naught x, which is a convex function subject to certain inequality constraints f I x less than equal to 0 and equality constraints a x equal to b. Now, as it is convex, therefore f naught x has to be convex and all the inequality constraints have to be convex, and the equality constraint is affine. But there is a problem. We cannot directly use the Newton's method due to inequality constraint, and therefore what we want to do is to be able to eliminate this inequality constraint in some fashion by including it in the original objective function, right? Also, without any loss of generality, we can convert maximization problem to this form by just multiplying -1. So this is the general form of the convex optimization problem. What we discussed, what we told is that we want to absorb this inequality into the objective function, and therefore such a function is generally known as the barrier function. So ideally what we want to do is that we want to capture all the inequality constraints within this barrier function as described here. Now this I minus function that is described here is defined as follows, that it is 0 for all u less than 0, that is whenever, so our inequality constraint was f I x should be less than equal to 0, and therefore whenever whenever f I x is less than equal to 0, we do not want to penalize the objective function, but as soon as f I x becomes greater than 0, you want to penalize it heavily, you want to penalize it tending towards infinity, and therefore since this is a minimization problem, the objective function will automatically go towards minimum and be fit within the feasible solution. But this has really not solved our problem. Although we eliminated the inequality constraints, we have brought another problem at us. We cannot use the Newton's method even now, and the reason is this barrier function is non-differentiable. So what is the solution? We make the barrier function differentiable. So instead of using so this is an idealistic barrier function, but instead of that, let's try to make an approximate barrier function. So barrier function that really behaves very similar to this I minus of u, but is also differentiable, and one such function is the logarithmic barrier function, where you introduce a parameter t and you define the approximate barrier function as -1 by t log of minus u. It is very similar. You can it is in the way it behaves, that like in terms of this function, it tends to infinity when it's near 0, otherwise it does not penalize too much. But the biggest advantage is that it is differentiable in the feasible domain, and that's what we wanted. Now t is introduced parameter, and as t tends to infinity, this approximate barrier function will tend to this idealistic barrier function. Yep. So this is what this what I just said shows. So this dotted line depicts the idealistic barrier function, whereas these solid lines depict the this logarithmic barrier function as defined here, and as t increases, this smooth barrier function, logarithmic barrier function, converges to this idealistic barrier function as defined before. So now that we have this barrier, we have this logarithmic barrier function, let us restructure our optimization problem. We want to minimize now this f naught x plus this summation of these things, and with this equality constraint. So, if you observe, we got rid of the inequality constraint and through a barrier function, and this barrier function is in fact differentiable in the feasible domain, and we could happily use the Newton's method. Now let us just denote phi f x as this quantity, this barrier function, and this could also be written as the minus of log of product of this f I x. Notice that f I of x are just the slack variables. Yeah. Now this is just the computation of the gradient and Hessian of this barrier function, and this will be used here. So what we really want to do is remember that this phi of x is the barrier function. We just multiplied t so that we want to capture it in a nice fashion. It is the same function as before. So we want to now minimize t times f naught of x plus phi of x subject to this equality constraint. Now we are defining the notion of a central path that tries to say that so this now this objective function is now parameterized by the by t, and therefore central path, the optimal solution, is now going to be determined by this value of t, and there central path is defined like this, that x star of t such that t greater than 0 will be the central path of this optimization problem. So this is an example of the central path where the starting point, it started at x equal to 0, and so as t increases, this will reach the optimal solution. So these contours that are drawn here are for lesser values of t, the barrier function, as t increases at these boundaries, these barrier function will suddenly hit infinity, and therefore we will never be able to cross the barrier function. The feasible inequality constraints will never be violated. So this is an example of a 2D problem where there are only 2 variables and 6 inequality constraints, and you can see that as t tends to infinity, this barrier function is same as the idealistic barrier function. Now so we want to minimize this thing, and we can do it by directly writing this equation. This equation is just the gradient of that function plus this term is this is the gradient of that this is the gradient of the original objective function, this is the gradient of the barrier function, and this term is the dual residual, right? So we are trying to see dual points on the central path. Now here x is the optimal solution, and ax equal to b is anyway the inequality constraint. So it turns out that if you rearrange those this above equation with these parameters lambda and nu in this fashion, it turns out that that equation gets rearranged to be a Lagrangian. So it is solving this equation is similar to solving this Lagrangian equation, and yeah, that is the thing. Now it also one of the properties of this thing is that our optimal solution P star is between f naught x minus m by t to f naught x, where m is the number of inequality constraints and t is the parameter that is in the solution. So what this implies is that if you are trying to solve this optimization problem through the Newton's method, we will get a primal dual pair every time. We'll get, suppose you get x star, we can find its dual also, because the duality gap is exactly m by t. So yeah, as t tends to infinity, where we have seen that is the ideal thing that we want to reach, but probably we will not be able to reach there. But as t tends to infinity, we should reach the optimal solution, and you can, by this we can also see that the duality gap is becoming 0, right? So this is the basic algorithm. We have we have a strictly feasible x. We are starting at this point. We are initializing t equal to t naught, which is greater than 0. We are initializing a vector mu, variable mu, and the tolerance epsilon. So this tolerance basically is how accurately or how small do you want m by t, the term m by t to be. So as we've seen here, how small we want the gap between the primal and dual solutions to be. So you first compute x star of t by minimizing that function. So we saw this that we wanted to minimize this function. We compute this using the Newton's method. Generally, we know that phi of x is now differentiable. We can do that subject to this ax equal to b. Then we update x equal to x star of t, and then we increase t equal to mu of t till this m by t is greater than epsilon, the tolerance that we want. So if you want to be tolerant, like for example 10 power minus 6, we could put epsilon 10 power minus 6, and then m by t will keep on iterating till then. And now once you get x star of t, when this condition fails, once you get x star of t, you can also report the dual feasible solution, because we know that at that point, the through this property, we know that the duality gap is exactly m by t. Convergence analysis. So it turns out that the number of outer iterations required for the convergence with the given stop and condition, that is m by t is less than epsilon, is exactly this term plus the number of iterations required to compute x star of t naught. So let us see the effect of mu on solving our problem. So let us see this graph. This is for a problem with what do you say, 50. This was a problem solved. This is a graph for a problem, a linear programming problem with 100 constraints, inequality constraints, and 50 variables. So these are the y-axis shows the duality gap, and the x-axis shows the number of Newton iterations. So if there are step-like structures here, the size of the width of the step on the horizontal axis represents the number of iterations for each recentering of the x value, or of the x value in the right direction, and the the height of each step represents the duality gap, how much duality gap is reduced after one outer iteration. By outer iteration, I mean that one while loop iteration. Now if you see for mu, for less values of mu, the number of although the number of number of Newton iterations taken per recentering is less, the duality gap, that is the reduction of the duality, the difference between the reduction of m by t is less in each iteration. Whereas for larger values of mu, we can see that although it takes more number of Newton iterations per recentering of x value, it really reduces the duality gap by a large amount. And also it can be observed that for larger values of mu, the sensitivity that we observed from mu equal to 2 to mu equal to 50 is not much seen here, from mu equal to 50 to mu equal to 150. So this is one of the most insane things about this interior point methods. Turns out that here if you see that this was a problem, as I said, for linear programming problem with 100 variables and 100 inequality constraints or something of that sort, and turns out that this takes, with mu equal to 50, this takes 35 iterations, right? So but the insane thing is that irrespective of as m increases, even exponentially, the number of Newton iterations do not increase. It really is, the increase is just in O of one time. So empirically it has been found out that the number of iterations for even millions of parameters is between 20 to 80 iterations using the interior points method. So this has been extremely effective in that sense. and therefore this can be used in many problems in domains such as machine learning, which involve many hundreds of parameters. Thank you.